Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. The teams will be visiting tracks across 5 continents as they battle it out for both the drivers and the Constructors' Championships. What race on the calendar do you think the teams will have a special eye on this year?
Well, I think the teams will be looking forward to the Mexican Grand Prix, which is being held back at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. It was last run way back in 1992.
This year sees Honda return to the sport, reforming one of the greatest partnerships in F1 history with McLaren. Do you think they can rekindle the success they had during the 80s and the 90s?
It won't be easy, but yes, I think so. It's been a tough few years for McLaren with the loss of Hamilton, Mercedes withdrawing as a shareholder and major investor in the team, and losing technical director Paddy Lowe. This could mark the start of their return to prominence.
Okay, this is Jeff, can you hear me? Radio check looks good, system check looks good. Just want to say it's a pleasure to have you on the team, and I hope we have a lot of success together. Tell me if you need anything, otherwise, get out there and show us what you've got.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to F1 2015 Part 1 in Australia, where we'll be driving as Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull, and we are just going to start our first lap in practice in the on the prime tyres, and we are running 8.8 wings. I think I started with 7.7 wings, but then I decided to change it to 8.8 wings since there's loads of high speed corners and the straights are not too bad, so I hopefully should not suffer too much. Knowing say that, I'll probably just get wrecked in the DRS zone in the race and qualifying, but hopefully the first lap will be fast, and as we cut to the end of the first lap we go P3, and I think I did go out again as we go back to lean mix. Yeah, I did go out again going to the last corner, a bit of oversteer there, but we did drop down to P11 and we're going to go to P9, so not bad result considering it's on prime tyres, and let's go to qualifying.
The Mercedes team will be pleased with their 2 drivers at the end of today's practice. That's P1 and P2. Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. We'll soon learn the true performance of these cars out on track. What can we expect to see in the following session?
Well, I think we're all expecting the Mercedes power unit to be particularly strong this year, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them at the front. But I wouldn't discount Red Bull or Ferrari just yet. We know they have the talent and the resources to react to any problem, so although they may be playing catch-up, I would expect them to bring some major upgrades pretty early, maybe before we even get back to Europe.
Okay guys, so we are in qualifying right now. We're going to go straight away for the Australian setup, since it actually worked like a dream in practice, and we're going to go straight into the lap since this is one shot qualifying, 5 red lights, and we cut to the end of the lap since it was quite long, so I don't think you want to watch it, and we're going to go P5 for the Australian Grand Prix.
What a session it's been for Mercedes today. They've locked the front row of the grid for tomorrow's race.
They've really worked hard this weekend, and it seems they've been able to set up the cars perfectly today. Whether this will translate into race pace tomorrow, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
The crowd are here, and they're here in numbers for the first race of the season. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. It's a great position for Lewis Hamilton to start the season from, and one that he'll be hoping he can capitalise on and turn into a race win today.
Well, we all know that Lewis has raw speed, and if you give him a fast car, he'll win races. So if he can stay out front by the end of the first few corners, I'm sure he's going to be very difficult to beat.
How does Nico Rosberg go about finding the time he was lacking at the end of qualifying in today's race?
Well, he's got to stay within touching distance of the lead during the first stint, and then look to capitalise as the car becomes lighter and the tyre degradation eases.
Okay guys, so we're on the grid right now. We are going to go for a 1-stop, which Jeff wants us to do, which is no surprise for a 15-lap race. And I think we're going to go straight into it. We're using the Australian setup that we're using in qualifying. And our engineer wants to go second, and 5 red lights, and away we go for the Australian Grand Prix was keep it into standard just to save fuel. Well, not really save fuel, but keep the same. We are behind Vettel. We try to go onto the outside of Vettel. We do touch. We do go a little bit wide, but we do take him. We do get a warning for colliding with Vettel, but I think it was a bit of a risky move, and it did push me a little bit. But there will be a bit of arguing there, and we cut into the next few corners. We try to catch up to Raikkonen, as Vettel is not giving up, as a huge train right behind him of all the F1 cars. And we're going to the next corner, and this is where my car will really suck. This straight, and then the next straight, and then the next straight after the beginning of sector 3 after the chicane. So what I'm going to try and do is just get some slipstream. Hopefully I don't get overtaken in the straights, because if you don't know, the Red Bull uses the Renault power unit, and all the other cars use, apart from McLaren, Honda, use either Mercedes or Ferrari, which are not too bad. Mercedes is obviously the best. So if you have a power unit with less power, then you do suck on the straights. So you have to take most of your advantage. We do a bit of a dive bomb move there on Raikkonen, which doesn't really work out. You're gonna suck in the straights, but you just have to take an advantage round the corners, and hopefully you get okay lap times. And we cut to lap 3. I do put it into lean mix so I can save fuel, and then for the second stint, as we go into the prime tyres, I just blast it and hopefully try to catch up. And as Vettel tries to get past us, and he does, I do leave him the space just to be kind. And now we are down to P5, so hopefully we can retain it maybe, and hopefully Bottas doesn't get on the straight, since the Mercedes power unit is OP as hell. You can see the speed difference as Vettel just absolutely rockets away as we cut to lap 5, and now we are getting pressured by Valtteri Bottas as he goes down the outside of turn 3, and he does it. He gets it, and he's into P5, and I'm into P6. Well, down to P6, and now he's pulling away, and now we're going to get attacked from Grosjean, the Lotus Mercedes. And now we cut to lap 5, well, the next bit of lap 5, and we do go a little bit wide, and we get a 10-second penalty for cutting, well, not really cutting, for going a little bit wide. Thanks for that, Jeff. And as we are still into into P5, and we are on to lap 7, we cut to lap 7, and I decide to see if I can get the undercut onto Bottas, because I did put it into rich mix on the in lap, so I could get maybe a chance of getting an undercut on Valtteri Bottas, but I don't think that would really happen, as we're getting held up by Romain Grosjean. As we get an okay pit stop, 3.5 seconds. Could have been better, but it could have been worse. I'm not really complaining, even though I am. As we come out of the pits, we are into P10, and that's the last pit stop, well, the one and only pit stop. And hopefully, probably the next lap, a lot of cars will be pitting, so we're going to see if we can get an undercut onto Valtteri Bottas, as a Will Stevens, a man in Marussia, tries to overtake us. That is how bad the Renault power unit is down the straights. And oh my god, I could not believe it when I was doing this. But hopefully, now, since it's fast corners, we are pulling away from Will Stevens, but just out of the pits. And now we cut to the end of lap 8, the end of the outlap, as we can see Alonso and all the cars in front of him are pitting. So hopefully we do jump a few cars there. We'll take our position back and see if we can get Bottas. No, we can't. Bottas, I think he does gain a little bit, but we are on his tail. We are catching him. This is on cold tyres, and mine, he's on fresh rubber, but they are cold. So hopefully maybe I can make like a little dive bomb move. No, he blocks the way, which I can understand. See if I can get it down the inside. He does leave us the room, and we are into P4 again. But now we do cut to lap 15, because I was just grinding the laps. I was trying to grind and grind and grind and hope that I can push away from Bottas, which I did, and I did gain a little bit of time on Rosberg, but I just wanted to get out of that 10-second zone so I can confirm 4th place, but I just could not do it. I was just pushing and pushing and pushing, and I did save a lot of fuel, which did give me the edge on the cars. I think we did set a purple sector, sector 1. We got the fastest sector 1, which is something to be proud of, but due to sector 2 and 3 having straights, we were just so down on power and so down on the straight line speed, so I was just struggling and struggling. But we are still in P4, and as you can see further ahead, Rosberg, and I think that is Vettel, as we go a little bit wide there, are a little bit behind Hamilton, and as Hamilton wins the race, we go wide again, the tyre wear coming into its own, and we go down the final corner, almost running out of fuel, but we are going to take probably 5th place. I think it's going to be 5th place, yeah, 5th place for the Australian Grand Prix. Not too bad for a Red Bull.
And that's the end of the first race here in Melbourne, and it's Lewis Hamilton who's got the upper hand and 25 points to his name.
Well, Lewis is always someone the other drivers respect. He's one of the best drivers on the grid, and if he has a competitive car, he'll always be near the front, and he's proven that yet again today.